There are moments in life when it feels like heaven has gone silent. You pray and all you hear is the echo of your own desperation. You cry out, and it feels like your words fall flat against a ceiling made of steel. But let me tell you something. God has not stopped speaking. The issue is not that He went silent. The issue is that we got too loud. The voice of God is not lost. It's just competing with too much noise in your life. You've allowed the chatter of your fears, the opinions of people, and the static of your own insecurities to turn the volume up so high that you can't recognize the whisper of the one who created you. You think God only speaks through thunder, through signs, through fire, but sometimes His voice shows up not as a shout, but as a still, small voice in the middle of the storm. The voice of God doesn't always announce itself. It doesn't always boom. Sometimes it's a quiet nudge, a conviction, a sense of peace that doesn't make sense in the chaos you're facing. And if you're too busy, too panicked, too addicted to the noise, you'll miss it. See, the world has trained us to believe that louder means more important. The loudest voice gets the attention. The loudest pain demands the focus. The loudest opinion wins the room, but God is different. He doesn't have to raise His voice to prove His authority. He doesn't have to compete with the crowd. He is sovereign in silence. He is powerful in whispers. If you want to hear Him, you have to lean in. You have to quiet the room. You have to silence the notifications, shut down the gossip, remove the distractions, and be still. Be still, because stillness is where revelation begins. Stillness is where clarity is born. God is not a God of confusion. He's a God of clarity, but clarity lives in quiet places. You can't hear what He's saying about your future while you're still tuned in to the lies of your past. You can't hear the truth when you're addicted to noise. Some of you are waiting on a word from God, but He's waiting on you to make space for it. You've got to clear out the clutter, turn down the anxiety, mute the voices that don't align with your purpose. Because when you create space for God, you will find out He never stopped speaking. He was just waiting for you to start listening. So today, take a moment, shut the world out and let heaven in, because His voice is not lost. His voice is not gone. It's just waiting for you to finally stop running long enough to hear what He's been trying to say all along. God doesn't speak to titles. He doesn't speak to status. He doesn't respond to your resume, your followers, your image, or your bank account. God responds to surrender. If you want to hear Him clearly, you don't need to be impressive. You need to be available. A surrendered heart is the key that unlocks divine communication. And that surrender is not a one-time moment. It's a posture, a position of humility, a willingness to say, "Not my will, but yours be done." Some people wonder why they can't hear from heaven. It's not that God isn't speaking. It's that pride is blocking the signal. When you're full of yourself, there's no room for God to pour in. You can't hear instruction if your ears are only tuned to affirmation. You can't receive correction if you're only chasing applause. The voice of God doesn't chase ego, it comes to those who bow. The problem is, we've confused surrender with weakness. We've been taught to fight, to push, to perform, but the kingdom of God operates in reverse. The more you let go, the more He shows up. The more you surrender control, the more He reveals His plan. Surrender is not giving up, it's giving over. It's saying, "Lord, I trust you enough to let go of what I thought it had to look like. I'm done trying to manufacture a miracle. I'm done trying to force the door open. I want to hear you more than I want to be right." God isn't looking for perfect people. He's looking for open vessels. And when your heart is open, your ears are too. When your spirit is laid bare before Him, no masks, no performances, no games. That's when his voice breaks through. That's when you stop guessing and start knowing. That's when peace replaces pressure. That's when clarity takes the place of confusion. You can't hear the divine if you're still distracted by your own design. Some of us are trying to lead ourselves while begging God to guide us, but He will not compete with your control. You've got to lay it down. The plans, the pride, the fear, the timeline. You've got to lay it all down. Because His voice doesn't chase chaos. It settles in surrendered hearts. And here's the truth. God's voice is not always soft, but it is always sacred. He will not shout over your stubbornness. He will wait until you're ready. He will wait until your posture changes. He will wait until your desperation leads to devotion, until you stop performing and start submitting, because the moment you fully surrender is the moment you hear clearly. So stop striving, stop proving, stop managing your image and start managing your intimacy with God. The clearest instructions come when the heart is still and the soul is bowed low. You don't need more favor to hear Him. You need more ***, surrender ***. God doesn't speak to impress you. He speaks to ***, instruct you. He's not in the business of entertaining your emotions. He's in the business of transforming your life. And when God speaks, He speaks with intention. His voice doesn't come to make you feel good. It comes to make you ***, grow ***. The voice of God carries weight, carries direction, carries purpose, and it will challenge everything that is out of alignment with your calling. You've been asking for a word, but are you prepared to walk in what that word demands? Because the voice of God doesn't come to comfort your comfort zone. It comes to pull you out of it. When He speaks, it may not always sound like encouragement. Sometimes it sounds like ***, correction, ***. Sometimes it sounds like let go, move on, shut it down, or this isn't the path I've chosen for you. And that's the tension. Are you willing to receive a word that doesn't fit your preferences? Too many are chasing a voice that ***, validates ***, their feelings, not one that ***, redirects ***, their life. But God loves you too much to keep you where you are. His voice will confront what's keeping you stuck. His voice will disturb what you've made peace with but shouldn't have. And when He speaks, you'll know it's Him because it won't just agree with your flesh. It will call your spirit higher. The voice of God is not birthed in pressure. It brings ***, peace ***. It brings a holy stillness to your chaos. It doesn't make things easier. It makes things clearer. When you stop trying to twist the voice of God to say what you want and start listening for what you need ***, you'll begin to grow into the version of yourself He's been waiting to develop. That's when transformation begins, not when He tells you what you want to hear, but when He tells you what you've been avoiding. Understand this. Purpose comes with pressure, yes, but His voice never speaks from pressure. He speaks from ***, position ***, the position of authority, sovereignty, and love. He doesn't react like people do. He doesn't speak out of frustration or fear. He speaks because He knows what's ahead, and He's aligning your life to prepare you for it. And you can't afford to confuse His silence for absence or His instructions for rejection. Just because it stretches you doesn't mean it's not from Him. In fact, if it doesn't stretch you, it probably didn't come from Him. Because His voice pushes you beyond what's comfortable into what's ***, destined ***. So the next time you hear that still, deep voice in your spirit, pause. Don't filter it through your fears. Don't soften it to fit your insecurities. Receive it, obey it, because He's not speaking just to speak. He's speaking to shift something in your life. His voice doesn't play games. His voice doesn't flatter. His voice, fashions, you into who you were always meant to become. You keep asking for a new word, a fresh sign, a clearer path, yet you've still left the last instruction, undone, You want God to speak again, but you haven't obeyed what He already said. See, God is not in the business of pouring out more when you've wasted what's already been given. He doesn't waste words. He doesn't speak just to speak. Every instruction is an invitation to elevation. But elevation always begins with obedience. You don't need another revelation. You need activation, The problem isn't access, it's application. You heard the voice, you felt the tug, you received the word. But somewhere between hearing and obeying, you hesitated. You let fear negotiate what faith had already confirmed. You delayed the move. You questioned the direction. You tried to rewrite the instruction to fit your comfort. And now you wonder why it feels like the heavens are silent. But the silence isn't punishment. It's patience, God is waiting on you to move on the last thing He said. When God gives you a word, it comes with a window. A moment in time where your faith has to meet your footsteps You can't walk into the next season until you've completed the assignment in this one. Some of you are circling the same wilderness because you haven't passed the last test. You're praying for a breakthrough, but you won't break up with the things He already told you to let go of. Partial obedience is still disobedience. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. You cannot expect divine results with selective submission. If God said it, that's the instruction. If He told you to leave, leave. If He told you to build, build. If He told you to forgive, forgive. Stop negotiating with what He made non-negotiable. There's something powerful that happens when you obey. Obedience opens doors that talent, education, and connections never could. Obedience releases favor. Obedience releases clarity. The next instruction often hides behind the last step of faith. You're waiting on God to speak louder, and He's waiting on you to respond sooner. Until you obey, you won't unlock what's next. Stop asking for a second word when you've ignored the first. Stop running from the hard thing, the uncomfortable thing, the sacrificial thing. God's voice doesn't always speak convenience. It speaks calling . And calling will always cost you comfort, but what you lose in comfort, you gain in clarity . So go back. Go back to that word He whispered in your spirit. Go back to the instruction you tried to forget. Go back to the moment you knew exactly what you were supposed to do. Because the silence you're experiencing isn't the absence of God, it's the echo of disobedience. You don't need to beg Him for another word. You need to move on the one He already gave. Because breakthrough doesn't begin when God speaks again. Breakthrough begins when you obey . You can't hear God clearly when your life is crowded with noise. Some of you are praying for direction, but you're too surrounded by distraction. You've filled your atmosphere with so many competing voices of culture, voices of critics, voices of comparison, that the still, strong voice of God gets drowned in the background. And the truth is, it's not that God isn't speaking. It's that you've given too much volume to the wrong sources. You keep wondering why you feel anxious, why you're confused, why clarity seems so far away. But clarity doesn't grow in chaos. It grows in consecration. You've got to clear out the clutter if you want to hear clearly. You can't hear God while holding hands with what He told you to let go of. You can't walk in divine direction while entertaining distractions that feed your dysfunction. You've got to make a decision. Either you keep feeding the noise, or you start following His voice. There are some people in your life that are too loud to let God be heard. You've allowed people's opinions to become louder than His word. You've allowed fear to become louder than faith. You've allowed your past to keep preaching to you when God is trying to show you a new path. You can't serve two voices. You can't move forward when your mind is stuck on what hurt you. You can't hear go when your soul is still chained to stay. It's time to turn some things down. Turn down the gossip. Turn down the self-doubt. Turn down the news, the noise, the nonsense. If it's not feeding your future, it's starving your purpose. You've been plugged into too many outlets that drain you instead of direct you. It's no wonder you're tired. No wonder you're spiritually dry. You've been listening to everyone but the one who holds your next breath. And sometimes, it's not even the loud things. It's the familiar things. That same old habit, that same old comfort zone, that same old cycle you promised you'd break. You can't hear a new word while clinging to old ways. The voice of God doesn't fight for space. It waits for surrender. It waits for you to quiet the room, quiet your spirit, and lean in. God speaks in spaces that are cleared not crowded. He speaks in stillness, not in stress. And if you're serious about hearing Him, you've got to be serious about silencing everything else. Don't miss a divine moment because you refuse to disconnect from the distractions. This is the season to guard your gate. Be intentional about what you allow into your mind, your ears, your spirit, because every voice you listen to is shaping something inside you. Make sure the loudest voice in your life is the one who created you, called you, and knows where you're going. You don't need more noise. You need more God. And to get Him, you've got to make room, because the voice of God doesn't shout over the world. It waits for the world to be silenced When God speaks, things shift. Not just in the atmosphere around you, but in the very core of who you are. His voice doesn't come to impress, it comes to transform. It comes with authority, with clarity, with the power to break chains that have held you captive for years. One word from God can do more than a lifetime of therapy, more than 100 conversations, more than any human strategy. One word, and what was broken starts to heal. What was dead begins to rise. What was bound begins to move. You've got to understand the power of that voice. When God speaks, He's not throwing out suggestions. He's releasing divine strategies. He's not offering advice. He's issuing assignments. That voice doesn't just comfort you, it calls you. It doesn't just reassure you, it repositions you. When God speaks, it redefines what you thought was possible. It silences every lie the enemy ever planted in your mind. It speaks to the truth of who you are, even when you've forgotten. You may be dealing with fear, with depression, with shame, but the moment God's voice hits your life, the atmosphere has to obey. Darkness can't stand in the presence of that voice. Chains that seemed permanent have to break. Cycles that felt endless have to stop. God's voice doesn't suggest change. It commands it. The winds listen, the waves listen, sickness listens, demons tremble at the sound of it, and yet somehow we doubt it. You don't need to be strong enough, smart enough, or spiritual enough. You just need to hear him, because if you've got his voice, you've got his power, and when his power shows up, weakness turns into worship. Confusion turns into clarity, pain turns into purpose. That's what the voice of God does. It speaks life into dry places. It calls potential out of hiding. It breathes fire into weary bones. And it reminds you that you were never walking through this life alone. Stop underestimating the power of what God has spoken over you. If he said you're chosen, you are. If he said you're healed, you are. If he said go, then go, because his word never returns void. It will accomplish what it was sent to do. Heaven doesn't waste breath. When God speaks, it is final . It is settled, and it will come to pass. You don't need another confirmation when you already have the command. You don't need more validation when you've already heard his voice. When God speaks, you don't walk the same, talk the same, or think the same. You are never the same. His voice activates destiny. It awakens courage. It rewrites the script. So lean in, get still, make room. Because when the voice of God hits your life, nothing can stay the same. Not your past, not your pain, not your limitations. Because where his voice is, transformation follows ***.